All right, season 3, action.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Butterfly Effect Podcast. I'm your host, Liana Hauser, and this is season 3. Did you hear that? Let me say it again. Welcome back to another episode of the Butterfly Effect Podcast. This is season 3. Yes, season 3. I cannot believe we are here. I can't believe I'm turning 28. There's a lot of feelings going on in one moment. But here we are, and we are here for a new season of the Butterfly Effect Podcast. I'm really excited for this season. I hope you guys are. I have a lot of things planned. I have a lot of new guests, some reoccurring guests. But as you can see, a new background if you're watching. If you're just listening, hey, thank you so much for being here. But yes, I am in the process of creating a new studio. So I have a 1-bedroom with a den that has this beautiful den area and space area that I was not using, and I want to turn it into a podcast studio. So this is the process, okay? Right now, if you are watching, you can see behind me, I have a nice background. It's different than the couch. We are going to transform this into a podcast studio. So if you're following my vlog channel, check it out. You can see the behind the scenes of what all goes into that, how I came up with the concept, how I created that from Canva to reality. So check it out, okay? This is not the finished product, but it's something, and I really love it. Like, this was my vision of having, like, different, like, black and white pictures of butterflies. Obviously, Butterfly Effect Podcast, the Butterfly Effect Podcast. And so I had to have butterflies in it, but I didn't want it to be like screaming purple. Like, I love my purple vibe. I'm excited to see how I'm going to implement it into the studio in the future. But for right now, I really like this, and it's going to grow. But stick with me, okay? Have the vision. Here's the sample. This is not the full entree, okay? You get what I'm saying? Those of you who have stuck with me from the beginning of this podcast to where we are today, I love you so much. I love you so dearly. Peace and love forever. I'm so grateful for you for writing this out, my ups, my downs, my figuring out my voice in this, where I want this to go, what I want this to be, and all the inconsistency in between. So I love you so much for the support. Thank you for listening. This is really just my journey and me sharing my story and having cool conversations with different people in my life. So it's been really cool to see people relate to different things and want to hear certain things or like resonate with certain things. It's been a really fun process, and I've really grown through this. This podcast has really been a platform for me to just express myself. Like, some people have diaries where they can write in the privacy of their own peace and space. I like to publicize my thoughts. So that's how I have a podcast. But this has really been a form for me to, one, release some creativity. I love the process of recording and editing and thinking of topics to talk about and getting new guests. Like, I love all that goes into this podcast, but I also love, like, being able to share my truth and then have people relate to it and help other people. Like, this whole thing, I had no idea what I was getting into when I started this, but I'm so thankful for it. Like, it literally was like, this is my pride and joy, my podcast, and this is something that I hope and I think that I will always circle back to until I'm like 110 years old. So I'm really grateful for this podcast. I'm really grateful for like the journey that it has taken me on, and I'm just excited to see where it takes me. I have no idea where it will go. But before we get into this week's episode, the premiere of season 3, I need to make sure that my chain gets some love, okay? I have a butterfly chain on, okay? If you're not watching and you're just listening, I'm dedicated out here, okay? I really did get this from Fashion Nova, and first of all, this is not how I hope it will look. Like, I want it to be a little bit longer. We have 2 situations going on here. First of all, we have this chain. Love this. Will be wearing this until I die because it looks real, but it's not. And then I have this butterfly thing that came with it, but when it came on, the actual chain that it came on, I looked like a cat collar. So I literally looked like a furry, and I wasn't going to do that. I'm not a furry. I don't disrespect the furries, but it's not my lifestyle. I don't choose to do that. So no, I couldn't make that work. But I did put it on a second chain because I did buy 2 butterfly chains. Here's the second one that's hiding right now. It's a little bit lower. You get the vibe. You get the message, okay? This week, I'm turning 28 in like 2.5 hours, which is unreal. I don't know if it's 2.5, maybe 3.5. Unreal. Age is really weird to me. I don't feel like an adult, if I'm being honest. Like, I feel like you don't feel like an adult until you have kids yourself. That's where I feel like I'm at. I'm like at the stage where I'm still figuring it out. If you listen to this podcast, you know I'm still figuring it out. I'm still learning. I'm still failing. I'm still thriving in different areas. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, okay? So, like, to say that I'm an adult is like, I know I'm an adult, but like, I don't feel like I got it together, okay? And I really don't feel like you feel that way until you have kids. At least that's what I hear. But anyways, nonetheless, I'm turning 28, which is unreal. And age is just a number to me because I still feel very young at heart. Like, I just still feel like I'm in the beginning stages of what's great to come, you know? I'm not there yet. So turning 28 is just like it's not another day. I love that tomorrow is about to be about me and the day I was born and like the marking of a new chapter. I definitely don't feel old. Like, when I tell people I'm 28, they're like, "You're 28? I thought you were like 24, 25. And I'm like, first of all, thank you. Second of all, no. Black don't crack, okay? So, like, I'm always gonna look young. Secondly, like, my personality, I'm just a very, like, animated person and, like, youthful. I joke around a lot. I'm very playful, so I feel like that plays into how people perceive me. So I feel like I'm always just gonna be perceived as this young, hot thing, okay? You're only as old as you feel. And I've literally said this since, like, I don't know, I was, like, 23. I'm so excited for my 30s. I'm okay where I'm at. Let's not speed the clock up. But I'm okay where I'm at, but I'm excited for my 30s. I'm excited for what my 30s bring for me. For me, I just think, like, my 30s are going to be what my 20s were, which is, like, free, like, being me, like, learning, growing, being this boss me that I am, but being, like, that elevated version of me. Being hopefully, like, learn the lessons of my 20s, and then in my 30s, I'm going to be like, I learned the lessons, and now I'm just building on everything else, and I'm rich, and I'm hot, and I'm just living my best life, okay? This is the first year that I am throwing a big birthday party of, like, my own. I'm so freaking excited. I'm doing a disco-themed birthday party, and I am doing a vlog on that, so if you don't already watch my vlogs, make sure you check those out. This is going to be, like, the behind-the-scenes process of me getting ready for the party itself, and just, like, all the fun in between. So make sure you look at that or you check that out. I have also other vlogs coming that I just kind of tie in the podcast and the behind the scenes of me getting my guests, what goes into a podcast episode, how my day-to-day looks outside of podcasting and like making this a reality and like the actual hard work that goes in behind the scenes. So if you're interested in that, definitely check that out and you just get to see more of me and like my everyday life. So if you like that too, definitely check it out. But without further ado, this episode, I'm going to do a little walk down memory lane and all the lessons that I've learned in these 27 years of life. This episode is going to be packed full of gems that I've learned throughout these 27 years of life. And baby, I've learned lots of lessons. So I hope some of this resonates with you. One last time, take this moment to thank you all for supporting me on this journey. I remember the birthday in 2021 when I launched this podcast. I was turning 26 and I was just sick. I was sick to my stomach all day because I was so excited to launch this podcast, but I was so afraid because this was the first time I've ever done something like that. Now, being at the place that I am right now, I don't even know a life without it. Like, this is like part of me. I'm so proud of my podcast. Like, this is my way to express myself. I can control this. This is me. This is literally authentic Liana Monique Hauser. This is my baby. And to see that I'm still doing it years later just like more confirms that this is the path that I'm meant to be on. And I just want to thank everyone for listening to me. I really do appreciate it. Like, you have a million other things to do in your life and you choose to listen to me ramble. So peace and love forever. Okay. But without further ado, I'm going to get into the lessons that I've learned thus far in my life. Okay, so starting us off today, I have number 1. And I've already said this on like previous episodes, but I think it is like the biggest lesson that I really feel like I'm focusing on right now, and that it has been like reigning true to me. And that is that relationships are the key to happiness. Relationships are the key to happiness. Everything in life, like for me personally, I could be without, but as long as I have like my solid core around me, my relationships that I have built, the people that I can depend on, the people that I know are going to be there for me, I know I'm okay. Like I feel like I am, honestly, this point in my life, like I'm so excited for my birthday this year and for my birthday party that I'm throwing this weekend, because I have so many fucking amazing people in my life that are going to be in one place, and we are going to just have the best time ever. And like, I just can't explain how happy that makes me and how lucky that I feel as a human being that I have this many people that I want to invite to my home and celebrate another year around the sun. Like, I really do feel like the luckiest girl on earth to have people in my life that just want to celebrate me and have fun. And like, I just really do feel like that is the key to life, is the people that you have around you, not the money that you make, not the legacy that you leave. It is literally the relationships that you build and the people that are there for you and the people that you get to share these experiences with, like, and you make memories with. Like, that is the purpose of life. So I really feel very fortunate for everybody in my life, and I think that relationships are the key to life. As if you watched my last episode, you also know that like I kind of go into sharing how in your darkest times, like those people that come out and support you and hold you down and are there for you, like that is what got me through these dark times. My second lesson that I've learned in my life is do what you love and don't do what like other people want you to do. I much rather work 80 hours a week doing something that I love than 40 hours a week doing something that I can just tolerate or that I am just doing for a paycheck. I am someone that I give my all to things that I'm invested in, whether that be relationships, jobs, projects, whatever it is. I invest everything because I expect a lot out of myself. So if I'm not doing something that I'm fully invested in and that I love, I feel miserable. So I've really taken the time to learn that, and that was hard because right out of high school, I was told that I have to go to college and get this degree. But it took me a long time to learn that I can't live my life for anybody else. I have to do what I love, regardless of what that looks like. The whole point is I'd much rather be working overtime on something that I love than, pushing for those 40 hours for something that I'm just doing for a paycheck. The reality of the world is we have to balance it. We have to find that balance of both because bills are paid and rent. It is expensive to live out here, okay? So I understand, sometimes we have to work jobs that we don't love, but I've been down that road. I've gotten the job. I've gotten the career that I went to school for, and I was in the field that I should have been working in, and I was in a full-time career. I had full benefits. I was paid pretty well for what I was doing. I was comfortable, and I hated my life. I've never experienced more anxiety in a job in my entire life. And then I did something completely different, something that I never thought I would do, especially at the age of 27, and it was serving so I could make money in order to fund my passion, my life, and then my passion projects. And I've never, honestly, I work like crazy right now, but I don't feel exhausted. I like what I'm doing. I love the people I work with. I like what I'm doing. I feel good at what I'm doing. I don't feel drained when I leave from work. Even when I feel exhausted physically, I still mentally feel there. And that was the biggest lesson I think I've learned. Number 3, and this is a big one, and I'm really not going to go into it too deep, but it's just go with the flow, dog. Go with the flow, girl. Don't try to plan everything out. Don't try to guess how things are going to play out. Just go with the flow, just let life unfold the way it needs to unfold, and know that you are equipped with the skills to handle whatever is thrown your way. Number 4. This one's a tough one, and it's something that I've dealt with my entire life. I just haven't been aware of it in the way that I am now. Addiction is one hell of a disease. And if you don't believe that addiction is a disease, I really, really encourage you to take a step back, understand why you think that is what you think. Do a Google search and just read. Just read. Have some conversations. I'm going to leave it at that. Like, addiction is just one hell of a disease. And I think that it has touched so many people that I love in my life. And I just want to continue to spread awareness on that addiction to whatever it is. It can be food. It can be caffeine. We're all addicted to caffeine. Let's be freaking for real. Social media, drugs, alcohol, shopping, food. It can be anything. Addiction is something that I would assume that the majority of the human race is addicted to something, right? Some of our addictions are a little bit more lethal and deadly than others, and some, are normalized into society. It's a really weird thing, but I'm just learning that addiction is a disease. Like alcoholism is a disease. Addiction to drugs is a disease. It is not something that people choose. So that is something that I really have learned in these 27 years of life. And I hope to be able to unpack a little bit more as I get further into my life in this podcast. That is something I would really like to talk more about on this platform that I am building, because it is something that has affected my life in many ways. Number 5, failure is necessary for growth and change. That is something that has been extremely hard for me to comprehend and swallow, because I am somebody who I didn't realize I was a perfectionist, because I don't at all view myself as perfect, but I am definitely a perfectionist. I am somebody who wants the best for myself and expects the most from myself more than anyone could ever expect out of me. If you expect something of me, trust me, I've already expected myself 10 times more what you've already expected of me. I am somebody who holds myself to the highest standard, because I don't know why. I'm still working on that in therapy. I don't understand why I hold myself to that standard, but it's something that I do. And if it's not to that standard, I get really hard on myself. And I've had to unpack that, and I've had to learn that actually failure is the best way to learn. If you've been listening to this podcast, you've learned, probably have heard me say a few times that I am someone who, if I don't feel comfortable or confident in what I'm doing, I won't do it. I'll hold myself back. I'll self-sabotage because I'm afraid of failure. And if I fail, that means I have to address the fact that I was not good enough in that area. I'm not perfect. I don't think I'm perfect. Trust me. That's the furthest thought of my brain. But perfection, like, I hold myself to a standard. Like, if I can't do it perfect, then I shouldn't do it at all. I have to unlearn these things that I've taught myself and have ingrained in my brain, that, like, if you do something, you have to do it perfect, and you have to do it right, and you have to do it the best. I don't have to do any of that. And so it's been first of all, I had to be aware that I thought that way, and now I'm unpacking all of that. And so kind of tying into being a perfectionist, like, all of this ties back to my anxiety. I'm really focused. I'm really, really working on just, like, unlearning this, is the urge to jump to the end and the outcome. So say it can even be the smallest thing, like, I'm going into a new dinner with a friend that I don't know. I try to plan things out and see how things are going to play out in my head. Say I'm talking to a new person. I try to figure out how this is going to go, that's going to go, if it could end, how they're going to hurt me, blah, blah, blah. If I'm getting a new job, I have to plan everything out in my head so I can feel prepared. Like, all of these things that I do, like, I try to jump to the outcome. I try to jump to the end and be like, this is how it's going to end, so I can prepare myself so I don't get hurt. And, like, what I'm learning is jumping to the outcome and jumping to the end of the story. That's completely defeating the purpose of life. We are meant to live this life and live it second by second, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day. And by jumping around to the end and trying to see how, like, your life is going to end up, or how this certain scenario is going to work out, you're defeating the purpose of being a human being and living in the moment. And that is something that I didn't realize I was doing my entire life. Like, overthinking and, like, playing things out in my head, like, I thought that was a strength of mine. I thought I was figuring out how to work out scenarios, and of course that's okay to an extent, but I was doing it to the point where I was just constantly overthinking. Like, it was completely running 100% at all time because my brain was constantly trying to figure things out and predict how things were going to play out and end. And the truth is, I probably was never right any of the time. I don't know if I ever predicted anything right. I don't remember. So all of that is to say, like, all that anxiety leading up to situations, it doesn't matter. So, and it's wasted energy, it's wasted emotion, it's chaos that builds within me, and I just don't need to experience that anymore. So I'm really working on just like letting things play out the way it needs to be. If there's something that I really want, okay, it's going to happen for me if it's meant for me. I'm a big believer now in like what's meant for me will never miss me and is already mine. So there's nothing that I can do or say that's going to alter the way that things are going to end up. So I really, when I get really anxious, I really tried to remind myself and ground myself by saying, like, everything that is meant for me is already mine. I don't have to do anything to get it. So that has helped. And that's something that I've been recently learning in like this past year. And honestly, these past 6 months, because I had a realization that my anxiety is so much worse than I ever thought. So number 7 is friendships are just as important as your romantic relationships. They take just as much effort. They are just as important. And they, honestly, a lot of the times, or most of the times, they stay a lot longer than your romantic relationships. And that is something, again, that I've learned in my later years of life. Like, I think, if I'm being honest, I really prioritize romantic relationships. I remember when I was younger, I would say things like, I've had a boyfriend every single year. I don't even know why I would say those things, but I used to say those things. And I remember I just used to be so hyper focused on being in a relationship. I do love love. I still love love. And it's a thing that I'm working out and trying to find my balance in. But friendships, those are everything. And in recent years, I went through friendship breakups, and those hurt just as much as romantic breakups. Like, your friendships that you've built in this lifetime, like, they're everything. They really are everything. And at the end of the day, like, they're there to help support your romantic relationships. And, like, so honestly, like, I'm not saying you should put more effort into your friendships or whatever. I think everything should be balanced. But your platonic friendships are so important, and I hope most people know that already, but like, I think the people you can depend on and have fun with and just talk to and bounce ideas off of, like, that's so important to have in your life. And it's really, you have to continue to pour into that and ask people how they're doing and plan things, because life can get busy, and if you don't, and if you're not intentional about your friendships, they will fade. And I personally never want that to happen. So I had to learn to make sure I'm putting equal effort into them as I am myself, as I am my romantic relationships. Like, your friendships all take work. They all need to be watered. Number 8, the people in your life are mirrors. So this is something that I'm still learning and I don't fully grasp and I don't fully understand. But for example, in romantic relationships, like, the people that you go for, if you feel like you're not being treated well by them, it's a really good chance that you have to take a look in the mirror and see, like, maybe there's something that you have not healed within yourself that is attracting this type of person that is bringing this out of you. That is definitely something that I had to take a look at, because I felt like I kept running into this habit of running into the same type of emotionally unavailable men that are not showing up for me. I felt like I kept running into the same type of guy. And then I was like, okay, if that's happening, there's something that is within me that I am not aware of or I need to heal. Every relationship in your life, whether it's something that you envy or something that you don't like or that you hate, like, you don't like about this person, or something that you're like, oh, that personality trait I just cannot stand. It's something that's within you that you don't like. Like, every relationship that you have in your life is a reflection of something within you. And that may sound crazy and you'd be like, yeah, no. But yes, if you actually take the time to do some of the work, you will understand that every single person in your life is a reflection of you and how you feel about yourself and how you are as a person. So if you don't like somebody, maybe it's time to take a look in the mirror. And I know that's not an easy pill to swallow. Trust me, I'm still working on that myself, but that is the truth. Number 9, there is a time for reflection, there is a time for rest, and there is a time for action. learning when those seasons are in your life is the key to success. Because honestly, for me at least, I can only speak from my own experience. There's moments where I feel super motivated. I feel super ready to attack my goals. There's moments in life where I'm getting kicked literally from every corner and I just need to isolate and rest. And then there's moments of my time, moments of my life where I get through like these big changes or big transitions or big revelations, and I just need to reflect on what's going on so I can process it and move forward. So it's just like knowing yourself and knowing what season you're in, and knowing how to operate and adjust your energy to like use that the best can be really helpful for you just navigating life. Number 10, and this is like super this is a good one for me, especially and all my Libra friends. Number 10, it is okay to change your mind. I feel like I got it in my head that I'm so indecisive that I need to make decisions and stick with them. And I get so stubborn about sticking with them because I don't want to be like, oh, I changed my mind again. The truth is, who gives a fuck? The truth is, who cares? Okay? If you want to change your mind, change your mind. I think I put so much pressure on myself, as I already shared in this episode and previous episodes. I have a lot of anxiety. My anxiety stems from like overthinking things through and making sure I make the right decision and I'm perfect, which is never the case. I'm never perfect. It's never going to happen. But that's the way my brain is wired to operate. And I need to be okay with changing my mind. Because I always feel so pressured to make a decision, I feel like I need to stick with the original decision that I made. But as time goes, I'm like, you know what? That probably wasn't the best decision. And I am okay to change my mind. If I want to do this day, I can do that. For example, my business. I still want to be a business owner. I still want to be a small business owner. I'm still accepting new clients. I'm still working with new clients. But do I love it? Did I choose to waitress? And do I feel like I want to invest more time in waitressing to make more money? Yes, of course. So it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to make a decision and decide that actually doesn't, once you have it play out in your life and see how reality hits with that and it mixes and swirls all in and you find out that it actually is not a good fit for you, that's okay. You know what I mean? That is okay. Hi, Zoo. Zoo's making an appearance. Number 11, astrology is the way to understand your life and others around you. I won't speak more on that because I know I have some astrology haters, but just know astrology has I've been into astrology for about 5 years now, and it has really changed my life. It just helps me understand myself, helps me put a definition or a description to how I feel, and it's amazing. I do think you can get too carried away though. Anyways, number 12, ask and be open to receiving help. That is something that I'm always working on, and hopefully one day I'll just be a natural at that. But I've been ingrained in my brain that being independent and doing things on your own is the standard. So when I'm not able to do that, I feel really bad about myself, tying into the perfection, tying into the anxiety. I don't like asking for help. I just feel weak when I do that. Or I used to feel that way. I don't necessarily feel that way anymore, and it's a habit that I'm breaking. But asking for help, there's nothing wrong with it. There really is nothing wrong with it. There's a reason why you're not able to do something all on your own. You're only one person, and asking for help does not make you any less strong, does not make you any less worthy or have any negative characteristics associated with it. Asking for help is a good thing. Knowing your limits is a good thing. Setting boundaries is a good thing. So just reprogramming my brain to think that and believe that is what we're going to be working on in this next chapter. Number 13, everything doesn't have to be so deep. Everything doesn't have to be connected to everything. I do believe that, but everything doesn't have to be, okay, because this happened, that means that's going to happen. That means this is going to trickle down. Things can happen in isolated events. They don't all have to be connected. They don't all have to be this part of this grander scheme of things. And maybe it is, but it's not always on me to figure out. It doesn't always have to be overthought and thought through and clarified and connected to this, that, the other. Things can just exist, and it doesn't always have to be that deep. When things happen, when people treat you a certain type of way, let them treat you that way. It has nothing to do with you more. So the majority of the time it has to do with something that they're going through. Like if somebody has a bad mood, I used to like literally be like, what the hell? They're throwing my mood off. They're draining my energy. Now I'm just like, okay, they're going through something, not my business. I'm going to still have a good day. So like, it doesn't have to be that deep. Number 14. Perfection is an illusion. We all know that. Social media is fake. Everyone has a filter. Everyone's editing out their flaws. Everyone's showing you the perfect part of their life that they want you to see. Even if it's off guard, or even if it's candid, or even if it's this, that, the other. It's still a created version of their reality that they want to share with you. So regardless of how authentic that is, like even this podcast, no matter how real I'm saying I'm being or how authentic I'm saying I'm being, like those of you who know me know this is really who I am, but like you don't really know that. Like I'm editing this still. I'm still cropping things out when I stutter or I say things that I don't want. Like this is still an edited version of my reality. So perfection is not real. So get over it. Like don't think that you'll ever be perfect, because you won't be. There's no such thing as perfection. Everyone has flaws in some type of way or another. There's not one perfect person on this planet, so stop chasing it. Erase the idea that the standard is perfection. Maybe I'm just speaking to myself. I hope most people don't struggle with this, but like I know I do. So like taking the idea of perfection off the plate, like I will never, ever, ever, ever strive to be perfect. I'm never going to be the perfect friend. Never going to be the perfect daughter, the perfect sister, the perfect best friend, the perfect wife, girlfriend, whatever. I'm never going to be perfect. So I'm just not going to even like allow myself to think that. I'm never going to be perfect. So if I take that standard off the table, then I can just exist. At least that's the goal. Number 15, it is okay to prioritize yourself. If you're anything like me, I am a people pleaser. And because I think that relationships are truly the key to life, I really pour a lot into the relationships in my life. And that looks like being available to them, sacrificing my alone time, sacrificing different aspects or things that I want so I can make sure that the overall group or my friendship is happy or the relationship dynamic is good. It's okay to prioritize yourself. You're not being bad. You're not being selfish by doing so. And that's something that I like felt for a really long time. I have a hard time setting boundaries because I've never really done that. And so when I set boundaries, I feel guilty, like I'm doing something wrong. And I have to continue to remind myself that like prioritizing yourself is not a bad thing. That does not make you a bad person. Of course, be considerate of others as much as you can be, but we are all born here alone, right? Like we have to put ourselves first. We have to look out for ourselves, and saying no to people is not a bad thing. Hopefully most people know that. Number 16, release the grips on micromanaging your life and just let it happen. Kind of like what I said before, is just like, don't try to control and learn and predict the outcome. Just let life unfold. Know your core morals, know your core values, stick to those, and just let the rest of it unfold. We can't play everything out. We can't predict everything. And so just don't try to. Number 17, a good routine will change your life. And that is facts. And I am someone who does not like structure like that. Like I am very much go with the flow. I am very, Zoo, please. He's so annoying right now. Zoo, a good routine will do, like for me, I am an overthinker. I have ADHD, so if I don't have something set already and planned and I have to make a decision, it's just going to slow everything else down. Like literally everything in my day will be prolonged by like 30 minutes because I have to figure out the best way to do this. If I have a routine already in place and I have a routine that like Zoo, dude, he is on, I don't know what he's on, catnip, something. If I have a routine in place, that just takes that off my plate and I just have to follow this and stick with the structure. I love that. And routine does not mean waking up at 5 a.m. to go work out at the gym. A routine just means something that you consistently do each day that keeps you going, okay? That can look different for everybody. Don't let these TikTokers and these influencers fool you that they are waking up at 5 a.m. every day and doing this. Some people are, but a majority of people, like, they're doing their own thing and it's just for show. So find a routine that works for you. Don't listen to anybody else. Figure it out that works for your life, okay? And, like, your style of living. Nothing else. A routine will help you if you struggle with it like me. Number 18. Lesson number 18 is balance. Everything in life needs to be balanced. everything. Everything. Food. Eat it in balance. You don't have to restrict yourself and go on these diets where you don't eat anything. Just have balance. You don't have to completely cut out drinking unless it's something that you want to do or you have an issue with it. Balance. You don't have to stop shopping completely and never buy anything from the stores and da da da. It's all about balance, okay? And that's something that I'm learning in my life, balance. I live life in extremes, or for the majority of my life, I would live my life in extremes, and it doesn't have to be that way. It can be in balance, and you can live peacefully with like having a little bit of everything, but knowing that it is in balance. You're not overgiving in this area or that area and neglecting this one. Everything is equal and balanced. And that is the key to life. And that is what I'm striving for. And that is not something that is going to be every day. Like, you're going to consistently have to work on keeping everything in balance the rest of your life. But I feel like for me, that is my North Star. That is what I aim for, is just to keep and live a balanced life, whatever that looks like for me. Number 19, you cannot, and you never will be able to, and even in the future, you won't be able to, control what people think, do, or say. You can't control it. You can't control other people. Unfortunately, we can't predict what other people are thinking because we're never in their brains and we will never know. So I've wasted so much time of my life and I've caused myself so much anxiety trying to figure out what other people are thinking about me or about situations that I'm involved in, that it's just wasted. It's wasted energy. It's wasted time. That anxiety that I felt was unnecessary because it doesn't matter at the end of the day. It will never matter because I will never know the truth of that. And so me trying to think about it and analyze it and predict is a waste of time. It really is. And that is something that I have to constantly work at reminding myself of. But when I get really worked up, like, I do tell myself that, and it does help a lot. Like, it doesn't matter. These people, I'm never going to know the truth of it. Like, their opinions don't matter. I am still who I am today, no matter what they think of me. And what they think of me does not change anything about what I'm doing or what I'm saying and who I am as a human being. I know myself. That also was the key, was learning myself and knowing myself and loving myself and knowing, like, because I have that, what other people say and do, like, it really doesn't matter. Still have to remind myself that. But that's, again, the North Star that I set for myself is, like, other people's opinions don't matter. Just like my opinion of them doesn't matter. Number 20, and this is a good one because I feel like I'm very infamous for being like, I'm a runner, I'm a track star, like, especially in relationships. Like, if I start to feel instability and inconsistency, I'm out of there. Like, in my past, I'm so notorious, like, you act out, oh, I didn't predict that, I don't like that, you don't do that, I'm out. Like, I'm gonna run at the first red flag because in previous relationships, I stayed for way too long. So, learning when to run, or learning when to close shop on something, learning when to work through something, learning when to stay and acknowledge, like, this is just a rough patch, or this is just a difficult time. Like, learning when to run and learning when to stay was something that I really am still working on, but it's something that I had to acknowledge. I didn't even know I was doing it from the longest time. I didn't recognize that was a pattern. And now I'm aware of it. And it's just like knowing yourself. Like, there is times where you should just run from a situation and end it and, like, close it out. And then there's times where you should stay and work on it because it's a moment of growth, and there's a moment of blindness that maybe you're not seeing, and that's an area of growth that you need to work on. So figuring that balance out was really key to me. And honestly, what helped me get through all of that is just meditating and learning myself. Because if I could learn myself, better understand what was anxiety, or like my thoughts, for example, like what was anxiety and what was my intuition on what I needed to run and when I needed to stay. So it was really important to just get to know me and, like, actually understand what my intrusive thoughts were and what my actual, like, logical thoughts were. Number 21, that ties right into it, is meditate. Meditate and drink your water, girl. I don't like doing it necessarily, but it's incredible. Like, the results that I feel from it is incredible. Like, meditating, yeah, no, that shit's boring. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm like, I really have to be intentional about, like, okay. And I have to constantly, like, check myself back in. But the results are great. And, like, I do feel a difference when I do it consistently. Number 22, Health is wealth. I'm not going to go that deep into it because I feel like we're all adults here and we understand. But your health is everything. Without your health, you have nothing. So health is wealth. And I've had lots of scares in my life through surrounding members of my family with different health situations. And I just feel like I have to always be grateful for how healthy I am at the end of the day. Like, I know I can get in the tendency to be super superficial and like pick at my body, and my body image issues will kick in. But at the end of it all, I'm so grateful to have a healthy, functioning body. Health as well. And I've been really intentional about it this year, which I'm really proud of working out to feel good, working out for my mental health, like all the other factors aside from the stereotypical reasons of like the aesthetic piece of working out. I work out for the health benefits now, and that has really helped me. Number 23, everybody in your life is not meant to be there forever. Okay, some people are here for a season, some people are here for a reason, and some people are here for the rest of your life, and that's a blessing too. But every single person, like, there's a purpose, okay? And whatever it is not for you to understand and figure out at the jump. It's just for you to experience. But no, when people exit your life, it's okay. It's meant to happen that way. And people are not meant to stay around the entire time. Some people are, some people aren't. And that's okay. Understanding who is key. Number 24. This time, I kind of said some about this earlier, but do what you love. Don't let your parents tell you what to do. Don't let your grandparents tell you what to do. Like, I'm not saying that in disrespect to your family, because I think your family has the best intentions and I'm sure they want the best for you. But it is your life at the end of the day. Like, your life is your life. Your life is not your parents' life, even though they gave you that life, and we are so grateful for that, right? But it is your life. Their present to you was the life, right? Your duty is to live your life the best way you can live it, and don't do anything else but that. Like, it is so important that you get the most out of your life by doing it for you and only for you. The second you start living for other people is the second your life is over. So like, doing what you love, being intentional about where you spend your time and where you invest your energy is everything. And the sooner you learn that, the more successful and the more fruitful your life is going to be. Like, I feel so blessed that I'm learning this in my 20s, right? And I have the rest of my life to live for me. I'm always going to be courteous and understanding and incorporate other people's experiences in life and thoughts and feelings and all of that into my decision making. But at the end of the day, I'm going to choose me every single time. And everybody should do that. It's not a selfish thing to choose yourself. You should be. Be considerate of other people's feelings, be a good human being. But as long as you're doing all of that and you're choosing yourself, that's what you should be doing. Number 25. And I mean this from the bottom of my chest, okay? I mean, let me turn the volume up, okay? I hope you all hear me loud and clear. Let me drop this accent. And 3, 2, 1. You all need therapy, okay? We all need therapy. It's okay. Life is hard and life be lifing. You need somebody to talk it through with, and you need to have good, smart, healthy resources and steps and tools in order to navigate this life so you can stop putting your damage on other people, okay? Because I was doing that for a long time. I was out here just dropping my damage on people. And then I realized, like, that's not cute. We need to fix this, okay? So get therapy, do the work. We're all damaged the most beautiful way possible. We all have shit. So deal with it so you don't have to put your shit on other people, okay? We have enough shit. You don't need to pass shit around. This is not a shit party. But for real, get therapy. It's not a bad thing. It doesn't make you weak. It is literally the best thing you can ever do for yourself. You work out your body by going to the gym. We all understand that, like, working out physically is good for your health. Hello, your brain is a muscle, okay? Work that out too in therapy. It's not easy. It's not always fun, but it's necessary so you can be a good human being, okay? Stop being a bad human and stuffing your feelings down by drinking, eating, over-exercising, all these things. Like, stop distracting yourself and actually do the work, okay? I challenge you to do that because it's not easy. It's scary, but it's worth it. Thank you. Number 26, get your ass out that comfort zone, okay? I had to do that. I had to move. There's so many times in my life that I held myself back from doing great things because I was scared of getting out of my comfort zone or failing or whatever the case of the outcome was. that I just, like, I did not do things that I felt like were uncomfortable. The second that I, like, pushed myself out of my comfort zone was the best things that I've ever done, the most growth I've ever had. So push yourself out of your comfort zone. You're going to fail. You're probably going to look stupid. You're probably going to, like, not feel confident for a second. But I promise you, after that 3 seconds of shame passes, you're going to feel like the most evolved version of yourself, because you can only grow if you're not comfortable. The more you keep yourself comfortable and safe, the longer it takes for you to hit that growth, okay? Like, trust me, I don't like that. I don't like pushing myself out of my comfort zone. I don't like doing things that are going to make me uncomfortable, but I know that if by doing that, I'm going to be a more evolved version of myself, and that's my goal in life. Whatever your goal is, that's up to you and your maker, okay? But for me, I want to continue to grow the rest of my life, and I know that means being uncomfortable and being comfortable with being uncomfortable. So do that. Number 27, to wrap this all up, because I know that was a lot of gems I just threw at you. All of these lessons that I'm learning and all that these lessons that I've talked about, like, they are all going to be something that I have to continuously work on throughout my life. It's not something that I can just, like, say, acknowledge, and then be done with. It's something that I have to implement into my life every single day and be intentional about it. And that's going to take practice, and there's going to be times where all of these lessons are not fulfilled. I'm going to be slacking on some of them. There's going to be days that I don't have a good routine, or whatever else. But it is knowing that, like, I'm taking these gems, I'm taking this knowledge that I've learned in these 27 years, and I'm intentionally putting it into the next 27 years. And there's going to be days that I slack on that and that I have to work extra hard on certain areas. And that's just how life is. But, like, knowing all this stuff and taking it with me and knowing that it's going to be an ongoing process is, like, the reality. And, like, I'm ready for it. I really am. And all in all, I'm just so grateful for my life. I'm so grateful for my life. I'm so ecstatic for what's to come. So I'm really excited. That's the end of this week's episode. Thank you again for sticking with me and listening to this podcast and riding with me on this journey. Next episode, I have a guest coming back on, and I loved this episode. This episode I was cracking up with. There was a couple tears I had to hold back. Like, there are so many emotions I experienced with this next episode. I have a new producer that has joined my team, and this was the first episode that they were on with. So I'm really excited to see where this is going and, like, where my life is going in general. So if you want to stick around for that, definitely do. I love you so much. Thank you so much for listening to all this and all the support that you've shown me over these last few years. If you can continue to like, subscribe, share, if you like this and if this resonates with you, I would love for you to share it. Just help me get the word out so I can keep making these podcasts and getting to other people and sharing my story and my journey and my lessons. But that is all for me today. I am wrapping up this first episode of season 3. Bye!